Hey everyone, this is Jason over at Paydirt DFS. We are back again for another Tuesday weekly main slate breakdown. We have 12 games on tap today. We're going to go take a look at the models and just see really where we should be beginning to build our lineups tonight. I want to apologize for missing last week. Unfortunately, my day job forced me into being a corporate shill. That is what I am, unfortunately, as Tribe likes to so eloquently call me. And I had to pay the piper a little bit. So some late hours. So appreciate everybody tuning in again. Let's get right to it. So first things first, I'm going to just give this a quick little refresh. As always, we always start with our pitchers. 1 second. Chrome could just be taking forever here. All right, we are having technical difficulties. What the fuck's going on? All right. Anyway, let's go and break down. While this loads up, we are going to go take a look at Draftkings and just look at every starting pitcher. And actually, never mind, we are back. My apologies for the jumping around. So, take a look at pitchers first. So, at the top of the projections, we have Sonny Gray, who has a projection of 21.5 almost at 9,700. Really, really good there at that price tag for today. His 2X almost at 55%. Pretty good spot. Sonny Gray, this year has been, in all consideration, decent pitcher. Has had some really, really spike games. He's also had some scary ones. So Miami's a little bit punchier than people like to give him credit for. And we were talking about this in the Discord last week. I think Miami Marlins are a team that you don't always want to pick on, but I do think that this is a matchup that he evidently can win. The total in St. Louis is set at 7, and overall, that's a pretty weak total. One thing I always like to check out too, especially when I'm in between pitchers, which I guess people could probably tell that I'm I like Sonny Gray, but I'm not saying like full force go use him. He can win the matchup. Is I like to go look at our game betting models and just go take a look at maybe his strikeout upside as well. So while that loads, I'm going to keep going through some of these. So here we have Tyler Glasnow next, 9,200 at almost a 20 projection against Cincinnati. As you saw with Yamamoto yesterday, you could definitely get Cincinnati, and all intents and purposes, Glasnow has been pretty good. Has been very, very good actually. He had 2 dud games earlier this season, but then since he's come back from injury, he's been very, very good. Got up to 106 pitches last game. I do like Glasnow quite a bit here. Jesus Luzardo, you have him going against Chicago White Sox, aka the, I guess you can call them the Monstars of the MLB against a lefty. I'm good on that. I probably would rather use some White Sox. Looking at our game betting models here quick too. So you see your Tyler Glasnow, highest K projection on the slate at north of 7. Then it's Luzardo, Kikuchi, Mize, and then Sonny Gray down here. Sonny Gray has a lower runs prop, which is, that's a nice number. Low home runs as well. Overall, I think Sonny Gray's fine. I think I would rather play Glasnow though. I know the ownership, you're getting that ownership discount. I was paying 500 more. So I'm fine with both of them. Don't mind it, but I prefer Glasnow. Jesus Luzardo, we have next. Yeah, I'm good on that. I said Kikuchi against Texas. Kikuchi's been really, really good. I mean, the last game was kind of meh, but before that, he's been really solid. I kind of think he's a little too expensive for what I'd want to pay for him on this slate. Like, I know we haven't projected really, really well, but for 8K, you're hoping if everybody else does well, like you need this guy to potentially get into the high 20s. I just don't know if that's going to be there against Texas, especially in this park. Texas has been hitting a lot better as of late. You have Max Fried against Tampa Bay. I'm not going to pay 10K for Max Fried and his K rates. I'm good on that. Verlander, 7,200. Interesting. People like to pick on Pittsburgh, but they themselves have also been a little bit punchier lately. I think Verlander's fine. Seth Lugo, 8,700. No, thank you. Not paying that price for him against Atlanta, and also Kansas City is a really good park for run production, and also it does limit strikeouts. I just don't really want to touch that. Corbin against the Angels. I'm probably good on that too, honestly. I know he had a good outing last time against them, and he's been rather solid. And they just mash lefties. So 7,700 for Patrick Corbin in this economy, 2025. I'm good. You have Sandy Alcantara, who actually had a really nice bounce back game the other day against the Padres. Against St. Louis, I don't know. They're gonna throw like 5-6 lefties at him. I think I'm all right with that. Giolito against Minnesota. So Giolito against Minnesota is interesting to me. One reason why is I know Giolito has not been good, and he's not the Giolito of old before his elbow injuries, but I don't think this version of the Minnesota Twins is that great either. No Ryan Jeffers, probably no Buxton. I mean, I didn't see a lineup come out for them yet. Let me go check Underdog really quick. Athletics came out. No, nothing has come out for them yet. But if there's no Buxton here, and there's going to be no Jeffers, first off, they're a really cheap stack, so I like that. Like, not one starter is above $4,000, so that gets me a little excited to stack Minnesota. But honestly, man, that's a really dog shit lineup. Like, I know there's some power, but like, are you afraid of like the 2025 version of Royce Lewis right now? I know Cody Clemens is a pretty big bat, but he's going to get, pinch hit for if you wanted to use him as soon as they're bringing a lefty. Warner and Larnick, are pretty good, powerful bats, but Correa, $3,000. Like, I don't know. At 7,800, I can see pass for him going really, really well if Buxton is not in the lineup. So something to consider. When I looked at weather there last time, let me just double check the weather. All right, total of 9. It's not, that's one of the higher ones. Not really any wind doing anything there. So I think that's a spot where I kind of like both sides. Quinn Priester against the Cubs, no thank you. Sean Manaea against the Padres. I have a little bit of a stronger feeling about Manaea than the models. At $9,000, that is expensive. He did get up to 82 pitches last game. He did strike out 5, and it was against the Angels. The Padres are not as much of a strikeout happy lineup, but nonetheless, probably a team on this slate. 9,000 does feel expensive, but he's probably going to make 1 or 2 of my 20 lineups. Then you get down to Burgett here against the Mets. People may call me a Mets homer. I just never want to pick on the Mets. I never really think that they're a super high strikeout matchup ever. And I'm not saying that like they're always a team that you can't pick on, but they tend to do enough where they spoil the pitcher's party without really, doing much themselves. You have Soroka against Houston. Very interested here against Mike Soroka. When you look at Mike Soroka's underlying numbers, he's actually been very, very good. He is on the trade block, so that is one thing that does kind of worry me. But he got to 88 pitches out last time. He had a really good outing against Cincinnati. The only problem is that he walked some people. He walked 3, but he struck out 6, 88 pitches over 5 2/3. You're going to get an offense here in Houston where Brad Lord, looked like the second coming of Nolan Ryan himself. So I'm definitely in for Mike Soroka. He's got some good strikeout numbers. 7,600. He's probably my favorite pitcher in like that high 7s range there is Mike Soroka. Going down, you get Severino against Seattle. No, this guy talks about how much he hates pitching in his own park. I'm good on that. Cal Riley's taking him deep, and Dominic Canzone's as well. You could book that. Bailey Falter against San Francisco. Bailey Falter, man, not a great pitcher in my opinion. But I think he's kind of what I called JP Sears yesterday in our Discord when I was talking with Pablo, if anybody saw. I think Bailey Falter is a gas can who can look like not a gas can in the right matchups here. So this is one against San Francisco that I don't mind, but I don't know if you really need to go there either. But he's okay. At 6,400, I think he could be worth a stab. Lodolo against the Dodgers. Yeah, no, I'm good on that. You have Pearson Ole by, I got to discuss him because he's $4,000. Apparently, he's a guy who's got pretty good control issues. Oh, is he not in the pool? Is Carson Ole not in the pool? Wow, never mind. He's not in the pool. All right, I guess I'll go fuck myself. He's not in. Okay. You have Jonathan Cannon against Philly. Yeah, I'm good on that, even though Davis Martin had like the game of his fucking life. Jason Alexander, yeah, you want to take that guy. I just don't think you need to do that. Colin Ray is 7,300. All right, I'm going to make myself abundantly clear here. If you haven't been following Paydirt the last few seasons, you haven't been in our Discord, you're going to hear this from me, and I'm just going to make this abundantly clear. Nobody on this planet wants Colin Rea to fail more than this guy right here. I hate this motherfucker. I think he sucks. He is so bad. And now he gets a lineup in Milwaukee with some lefties that like to put bat on ball, and they like to, they like to run around. They like to steal bases. I'm all about attacking him today. I want nothing to do with this guy, and I want to attack him full bore. And here's some more reasons why. Our research sheets, true average splits. True average to lefties, 300. True average to righties, 300. Oh, not good, Colin. Not good. We're gonna replace Bob with Colin now. So not good, Colin. We look at our hit ratios here. Right here, Colin Rea to righties has a decent one, not really great. Horrible against lefties, not good. Let's go take a look at our current slate overview where we sort by expected home runs. Colin Rea in the most recent sample should have given up 9 home runs. He's given up 6.5. Slugging a 470. Dog shit. Not good. We go look at his active baselines. Expected home run for plate appearance. He's top 4 right there. Look at that. Expected slugging, 530. Terrible. Expected home run for plate appearance, 8%. Not good. Let's go take a look at righties. So righties, he's better, but really not much better. 6% here. This Milwaukee lineup that we're going to get here, in my opinion, is just really cheap for the upside that they have. I mean, just looking at this here too, and I'm not saying the lineup itself is cheap in itself, or for what they can do. Sal Frelick, Churio, 4,300 Churio, 3,900 Contreras, 4,400 Yelich, $2,800 Andrew fucking Vaughn. Are you kidding me? Isaac Collins, switch hit guy. Bryce Terang steals bags. Siegler, I don't know who the fuck that is. That's okay. And Joey Ortiz. Yeah, I'm going to attack him tonight. I got a feeling once we start looking at some offenses, Milwaukee's going to look pretty good. But so for the pitching for today, where I'm probably leaning, I'm probably going with some combination of either Gray, Glasnow, with Gray, Glasnow, one of those two, and then I'd probably maybe rotate Giolito, Soroka. Soroka's probably where I'm going to lean the most there. If not, I think it's totally okay to pay up for both of these guys, Sonny Gray and Glasnow. But yeah, in my opinion, a little bit of a tough pitching slate. Let's go take a look at some offenses now. Go look at some bats. So here, just rerunning this, giving this a look. So we're looking at this not on the advanced view, but we're looking at it on the simple view. I don't know why this is not loading, but I'll get it loaded on another page. And here we go. All right. So we have the Athletics tonight. Obviously, great spot. Logan Evans, not a good pitcher. Seattle bullpen, man, not good. Really good ballpark. Very expensive, though. Very expensive today. They are a top 4 most expensive offense on the slate. So something to really consider there. A+ runs at 31%. Ownership kind of in check there just because of how I don't know how good that ballpark is for hitting. So definitely, interested in the Athletics today if you could afford them. You got the Yankees against Joe Boyle. Paul, my boy Joe Boyle. No. Joe Boyle, God himself. No, thank you. We do have some. Oh, he's been pretty bad the last few starts. Okay. I thought he was pretty good the last few times I heard. It looks like he hasn't really thrown that many pitches, though. So, yeah, maybe he's an opener. But, yeah, I mean, if you want to, the Yankees are never a bad play with the power they have. Just no Aaron Judge makes them slightly more affordable, but still, there's still, they're on par with the Angels, with Atlanta. Like, sure, if you want to go there, you can. Milwaukee, Colin Rea, that's what I'm talking about. Low ownership, 3,800. Favorite stack on the slate. Just lock it in, move on. I love them today. The Dodgers. So if I'm going to pay up today, I actually don't mind paying up for the Dodgers. That bullpen has kind of been through it the last few days. And yesterday it didn't get much better. Our guy Chase Burns absolutely shoved. By the way, I had all the Chase Burns and Framber Valdez combos yesterday. Made up 80% of my lineups, and I made $0. So ask me anything. I'm really sharp. But I will say I do like this spot. Lodolo is not a super high strikeout pitcher. I don't like that ownership really, but I think you could balance it out. Seattle against Severino, no issue playing anybody in that park. Yep, the Padres against Minaya. Yeah, just like I don't really like attacking the Mets with pitchers, I don't really love attacking them either with bats. I just don't think Minaya is a bad pitcher by any means. His underlying stuff is very good. He is going to regress a tiny bit, just the normal regression that most pitchers see in their season as they go up and down. I just don't think I want to get there today, especially when, number one, 8.5 total, better than you would think, but still don't really love that compared to some of the other environments. Also at San Diego, if I'm going to pay those prices, I want a little bit more certainty in the upside. Nothing is ever certain in baseball, but I just don't think I want to pay those prices in that park where it's one of the worst run producing parks in baseball. You can hit some home runs there, but like everything outside of that, if you're not hitting home runs, like, okay, you're going to death by 1,000 paper cuts me and just hit bloop singles. Be my guest. I'm not doing that. All right. After that, we have the Phillies against Cannon. Sure, that's fine. Chalky but good. That bullpen's not great either. There's going to be shopping some guys. They're a dying organization. The White Sox. If we could relegate them, we probably would. Sorry, J Bones in our Discord, but we should probably fucking relegate them. They suck. The Angels against Patrick Corbin. Very interested always in the Angels, and the reason why is because they just have so much home run upside. They're a little bit pricier now. I do think you can get after Texas's bullpen a little bit, but no Moncada, outside of Nato, Trout, and Ward, it's not really that expensive. Joe Adele, 4,100, hasn't hit a home run in a while, but we know what his upside is. 3,900, Sean Newell, I think that's fine. Logan O'Hoppe is $3,200. Like, I get he hasn't been great, but that salary is really cheap. Even if they went d'Arnaud, 31 is really cheap. I just like that they're one of those lineups that I think is a good mix of like expensive guys and cheap guys. So I do have some interest in the Angels. Minnesota, as I mentioned earlier, against Giolito, I kind of think you could play both sides of that. I want to wait and see if there is Buxton tonight. If there's Buxton tonight, I probably lean more towards attacking him. If not, I probably lean towards more using him. But either way, I think you could play both sides. White Sox against Luzardo. When are people going to like catch on that they're actually good against lefties now? I don't understand. Chicago is definitely going to be a mini stack for me, minimum. Phillies bullpen, not really great. Nothing to write home about. They got after Sanchez yesterday. Here's the thing, too. I think Luzardo's good. I don't think he's this, guy deserving of this salary, though, in this spot after seeing really what they've done to lefties. So I'm not on board with that. Luzardo's ownership, 19%. I think you can get some leverage by attacking him there. So I'll definitely have some White Sox. Kansas City Royals. So this is one that I probably hold in a little bit higher regard than the Sheets tonight. The Sheets think they're fine, by the way. They just think that they're very overowned. I personally like Kansas City quite a bit. Here's why. Number one, Eric Fetty does not miss bats. That's number one. Number two, it is hot and humid in that park tonight, just as it is almost every night in the summer. 95 degrees. About 7, 8 o'clock Eastern time, it's going to be reaching about 60% humidity and climbing. Kansas City is a park that is always, always, always really good for extra base hits. They are not the best for home runs, but honestly, that's okay. Atlanta, dying organization themselves. And when you go look at them in most sites like Fangraphs, Baseball Savant, you can go look at them and see that a lot of the Royals have higher expected slugging numbers than what they've actually put out there. And it's true. Like Jonathan India is higher, Bobby Witt's higher, Pasquantino's higher, Michael Garcia is probably around the same. Salvador Perez is higher, even though he may miss tonight. So if Salvador Perez misses, I think you can get by with just a mini. But if Sal Perez is in. Okay, never mind. He's in. Yeah, I like Kansas City quite a bit. They're going to be one of my main stacks tonight. Cincinnati, it's Glasnow. I think that's totally fine as a leverage play if you want to go there. Glasnow himself, in my opinion, has been very good. His underlying seems to agree with me, but he's going to hit some regression just like most pitchers do, as we just talked about. Last few games, too. First game off the IL against Milwaukee, 18.25, 85 pitches. Next time out, 6 Ks, after seeing them just, 9 days earlier, then comes out against Minnesota and strikes out 12. So knowing Cincinnati and just the team that they have, if I remember correctly, I think they're a very high strikeout team. Let's check here. So Cincinnati here in this sample against righties, 410 expected slugging as a team. Sure, that's fine. K rate seems pretty low. So let me go dive into that a little bit more and just see what that is there. So I don't know why this is being so finicky. Okay. So sorted by K percentage here. Will Benson, as long as he doesn't make contacts, probably an auto K. Fraley, Hayes. All right, these guys are striking out a little bit less. I still like Glass now. I believe in his talent, but I do think if you want to attack him, you can. Cincinnati will probably make my mini pool. Jason Alexander against Washington. I think they're a little overowned. If you want to go there, you can. Pearson Ola against Boston. I'm always interested in against a pitcher who's, making his rookie debut, even though he's not he's not, fucking Paul Skeens or Chase Burns or Mizorowski or any of these guys. I am always into attacking these guys. Park has been always good for offense as of late. Over under of 9. It's hot. It's humid there. I think that's fine. Boston's good. Houston against Soroka. No, I'm going to be attacking them. If Houston beats me today, I'll just throw in the towel and I'll see you in football season. San Francisco against Falter. I don't mind a mini there, but I'm okay. Tampa Bay, I'm okay. I kind of think as a team, they're a little pricey, and also you have to worry about these pinch hit problems. They have a guy, Nick Fortes, who big acquisition. You get rid of Danny Jansen for Nick fucking Fortes. Okay. He's not even eligible in the pool, so I'm good on that. Texas against Kikuchi. I think that's fine. I don't know how much I want to use Kikuchi, but I don't know how much I want to attack them either. The only thing I will say is that if you do attack the Angels, that bullpen is like ripe for the picking, and it's a really good park for offense. So just something to really consider. Yeah, the Mets against Burger. I'm good with minis, but I don't really have interest in that park. Braves against Lugo. Yep, interested. That park is fine. Lugo's been good, but overall, I just don't think he's really anybody that you need to, be scared off by. And also, his ownership at 4%. You're not gaining much by attacking him, but yeah, I think he's all right. Cubs. I'll take the Cubs against anybody, even though Quinn Priester doesn't project well, but he's not going to get killed. I'm into that. I'll take them for minis. St. Louis, sure, for minis. Pittsburgh for minis. I will always do that. Verlander is had a good start last time out, but he's not really anything. He's not Verlander of old. And then you have Miami. Outside of like trying to catch lightning in a bottle, I don't think I'm really going to go there today. So overall, my offenses I'm sticking to. My main 5-man stack is going to be very condensed today. It's going to be Milwaukee. It's going to be Kansas City. It's going to be the Athletics. It's going to be Seattle. And then I'm probably going to go either LA. And if I really want to expand it anymore, Boston, Minnesota. That's all I'm going to. Let's go take a look at the contest simulations and just see what they want us to play tonight. I'm going to run this on small field very, so that way everybody can take a look. And all right, so first things first, Kikuchi showing as the most positive edge pitcher in the Sims. So maybe I got to go look at him again at $8,000. I'll take a look and see. Verlander 7,200 against Pittsburgh. They seem to really like him today. Then there's Sonny Gray, who has like a nominal edge there. Tyler Glasnow at a pretty negative edge. If you're playing small field, there's no problem with eating Glasnow. If you're going to go Glasnow Kikuchi, you probably have to consider maybe a pivot one or in offense or somewhere. But I do think starting with Glasnow and then going to either Kikuchi. You want to go Corbin, fine. The Luzardo, very negative. I think I want to attack Luzardo. We have my guy Soroka down here pretty low too, but I like Soroka. So I'm kind of at odds right now with some of the Sims. Corbin, high edge here. Alcantara, Bailey Falter, Max Fried, Soroka, Glasnow, Luzardo, Manaea for the lowest edges. We go look at offense. No surprise, the Athletics. The Padres, I'm not doing that. Even that too. Like if you play them, like what do you really gain out of it? I guess is really what I'm trying to decipher here. Sean Manaea himself, looking at ownership, is going to get 11% ownership. San Diego is an expensive offense. And when you go look at them, it's like Tatis, Machado, Merrill, Bogarts. It's like, okay, maybe you want to go Tatis, Machado, Bogarts, fine. You want to maybe pick off one of their cheap catcher, sure. I just don't really think you gain anything from that. So I'm not into that. Kansas City popping right there as expected for me. That's one that I high on. You have the Yankees. Sure, you want to do that. That's fine. And you have Milwaukee. Milwaukee, I am all for today, and the White Sox. So most of my offenses seem to be on here with the Athletics, Kansas City, Milwaukee. Did say Chicago for minis, and then there's Boston. Pitching, though, I'm kind of at odds with, so maybe I have to go look some more. But overall, that's what I would start with today if I'm, playing smaller field lineups. But outside of that, what questions does anybody have? Feel free to leave them in the chat. By the way, no free ads, but Polar Lemon Lime Seltzer, goated. All right. Well, everybody, please come check us out over at Paydirt DFS if you haven't checked us out yet. Boatloads of content, and we're starting to get ready for football season here. Really exciting time. We have a lot of new tools. We've been incorporating a lot of AI to try and get more content out to people. Today, if you go and check, Tribe has an algo-derived article today. AI basically breaking down on a small podcast what to expect. We're going to be having weekly shows for NFL starting in a month. Baseball, you can catch us on the weekends. Come check us out even for a day, a week, a month, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just come see the tools, come see what we're all about. And this is Jason over at Paydirt DFS. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Let's win.